The Indiana Hoosiers lost another close game this Saturday at Michigan State by a score of 17-9. Jackie Cardelli was in East Lansing for the game. Jackie, after the Michigan game, Tom Allen was visibly upset and frustrated and a little bit motivated in his post-game press conference. This week was a different story. What was the mood like in the locker room and in the post-game presser after this one?
The Indiana Hoosiers men's basketball team kicks off their regular season this weekend against Indiana State. They've only played 2 exhibition games thus far, but Jackie Cardelli was there at Simon Skjodt Assembly Hall to catch the action. Jackie, thanks for joining us. I know it's only been 2 games, but after those first 2 exhibition games, what looks different under this team with Archie Miller compared to the Tom Crean teams of the past?
You mentioned those 2 tough losses in these past 2 weeks. This team has kind of developed a reputation of having an inability to finish these close games against big teams. What would you attribute these, I guess, consistent failures to finish these big games off to? The Colts had hoped that a win in Houston last week would be a turning point in their season, and it looked like it would be today as they faced the Steelers. That is, until the fourth quarter happened. The Steelers have had the Colts' number lately, beating them the last 4 times they've faced off. Head coach Chuck Pagano has never beaten them in his career with the Colts. Vontae Davis gone, Pierre Desir in at quarterback. Ben Roethlisberger tests him, and that's a bad idea. Desir picks him off, and we have a scoreless first quarter. Second quarter, Colts find the end zone. Jacoby Brissett connects with Dante Moncrief for a 60-yard touchdown. Colts go ahead 7-zip, and it's 10-3 Indy at the break. First possession of the second half, Brissett with another long hookup. This one to Chester Rogers, weaves through 2 defenders, 61-yard touchdown, his first in the NFL. Colts on top, 17-3. Dance it off, young man. But critical mistake right here. Ball goes right through Jack Doyle's hands, and Ryan Shazier says thank you right at the Colts' 10-yard line. Steelers looking to finish off, and they're in great shape, and they take advantage. Roethlisberger with loads of time, and he finds Vance McDonald for the 7-yard score. 2-point conversion is good, and we are tied at 17. 4 seconds to go. Chris Boswell nails a 33-yard field goal, and that is the game. Steelers rally for a 20-17 win. Colts are now 3-7 heading into the bye week. Chuck Pagano, after the game, displeased with the deja vu of another bad second-half performance. Well, their defense has been able to keep them in these games against these big teams. We saw it last week against Michigan, and again this weekend against Michigan State. The defense held the Spartans scoreless until just under the 6-minute mark in the fourth quarter. This is a Spartans team that has really found their identity as of late offensively with L.J. Scott and Brian Lewerke. It's a good point you make, and I think that the one guy really that is totally trustworthy in that Cubs bullpen is Wade Davis, and we didn't even see him last night, and probably the most crucial point in the series, probably the turning point of the series. The one guy that Joe Madden and Cubs fans can trust in their bullpen, we didn't even see. Well, they have to learn to throw the football. You know, we saw Peyton Ramsey, they started to drive down the field towards the end of the game when they had these little, 5-yard out route passes and these medium range passes to keep the ball moving and keep those chains moving. But then their offensive drive stalled once they got inside the red zone. We saw 3 straight runs up the middle that led to a field goal in what was a 3-point game was extended to a 6-point game. That's still a 1-possession game because they couldn't move the chains and they couldn't keep the ball moving once they got inside the red zone. And they have to spread it out and become more diverse offensively, because right now they can't really throw the football and they rely too much on their run game, which is really mediocre at best at this point in the season. So they have to learn to throw the football, get creative offensively, and mix up the play calling to get a little more diverse so they can move the ball against these top-tier opponents. They can't hit. I mean, it's that simple. In baseball, you have to score runs if you want to win the game. You don't need me to tell you that, but they can't hit. Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, 2 guys that they've leaned on really throughout the last almost 3 full seasons and postseasons now. They can't seem to get their bat on the ball. They're striking out left and right. Javier Baez he's gotten on base, I think, 1 time. He's hitless this postseason in over 20 at-bats. I mean, they just can't hit behind the plate, and they can't really turn to anyone because the guys that they were turning to, Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo, they can't get their bats on the ball.
Game tonight.
I'll play devil's advocate here. Corey Kluber's a great pitcher, very, very likely to win the AL Cy Young. He gave up 6 earned runs in Game 3. He gave up 4 earned runs in all of September. It's something we didn't really see from Kluber all second half of the season where he was red hot. So that's something I'm watching for. And also Francisco Lindor and Jose Ramirez for Cleveland combined 3 hits on the series. That's inconsistency out of them. Something we didn't see from them really all regular season. That's got to change.